Good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. I, of course, with Originator Success here with the Daily Mortgage Rate Update, the only place on the web where you guys get to join me each and every day to talk about what's going on with rates and pricing. Remember, you can join me live 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time each weekday as we do the show. If you're watching on the replay, don't forget to give us a hashtag replay in the comments. Let us know that you were here. If you're on Facebook, don't forget to smash that like button, tag an LO friend, share us in a group. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and subscribe. Remember, you can sign up for our written lock advice, www.ratelockadvice.com. You can go ahead and get that delivered to your inbox each and every weekday morning. That is a email like this one with all of the commentary. Feel free to take it, use it, share it, claim it as yours. I don't care. As long as it helps you, I want to help you. Also, don't forget to go ahead and sign up for our text alerts. These are what we send out each and every day. We send out a morning alert, an afternoon wrap up, and like yesterday, when there is concern that we're going to see something bad happen, like we did, saw some reprices, you can go ahead and you will get an alert like this. You can sign up for those at ratetextalerts.com. Also, don't forget to check us out at originatorssuccess.com. Find out how we help you get loans from Google and social media. And if you'd like to sign up and be reminded when I go live and get a text reminder absolutely free of charge, you can sign up at hmmr.io/reminder as well. So now that we got all the housekeeping out of the way, let's go ahead and say hi to the live folks. Who do we got here this morning? Say hello. Let me know that you're here. Start off with, who's Facebook user? Somebody shows up on Facebook. Sorry, I don't know who that is. Kalmazikas, good morning, sir. We got Mallory Fotiadis. Good morning. Great to see you. James, is it Man or Mahan? How do you pronounce it, James? 2 syllables or one? Mahan or Mahan? Let me know. Tim Klyla, good morning, sir. Yasmin Martin. Hello, Yasmin. Yasmin, I apologize. I've been late in sending out your swag, but it will go out today. Sorry about that. Sherry, good morning. EJ, good morning. Great to see you. I don't think I've seen you on here before, EJ. Good morning, Deb Dickinson, Allison Foy. How y'all doing today? Hope you guys are doing better than the rate sheets are going to be doing this morning. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about what's going on this morning and all that good stuff. So let me make this full screen for now. We'll hit this hard and go in there. So taking a look this morning, rate sheets are going to be worse than yesterday. Rates continuing to move higher today. Mortgage-backed securities down another 25 basis points to start the day. On top of yesterday's 45, that puts us down about 70 basis points since Thursday, since before the holiday. You can see that we are going back into this same area here that we spent February in when we saw some of the worst rates. And over the last 2 days, you see these two big, huge candlesticks, red candlesticks. We have given away what took us basically almost 2 weeks to kind of collect. We've given back. So forgive me, I got to blow my nose 1 second. Allergies are fighting off being sick. I'm not quite sure. That puts us in a position this morning where reprice risk is moderate. We have seen a very, very sudden shift in sentiment. Take a look here. Let me see if I can zoom in on this, if this will let me. Okay, good. Take a look. I mean, we spent all of last week up here and then boom, boom, right? We have really just seen it drop down. You see it in these two red candlesticks right here. Very, very sudden shift in sentiment. And that's not good. Especially what catches my attention is this 10-year treasury yield. I have this zoomed all the way out to show you, we have not seen the 10-year treasury yield break this 4.32 mark since back here in November. That was the last time, if we draw a line straight across, that was the last time that we saw this 10-year treasury yield hit this high. And we have seen this 4.32 kind of give us support many times. Remember, the 10-year treasury yield, that moves up, that's worse. We want it to go down. We want yield to go down. Over here at mortgage bonds, this is pricing, not yield. So we want pricing to go up. But on 10-year, we want that to go down. Now, yesterday, we ended the day at 4.32, right on that support level. And instead of waking up this morning and seeing that hold, we've seen it break significantly. 4.39, it was 4.40. You're talking up 10 basis points in yield overnight. That's a big move. Now, part of that was because of what was going on over in Europe. Europe markets were closed yesterday. This morning, they were going to, of course, catch up to what happened with the 10-year treasury yield jumping, but they pushed past that. They also had some strong economic data. and that caused their bonds to worsen, which is affecting ours as well. But the other thing that's going on this morning is that traders are starting to price in the idea of only 2 Fed rate cuts this year rather than 3. So we're starting to see that come into play as well. Let me see. We're going to just take and put this sideways, pop my little pretty picture over here. Okay, so Fed bets ease. Global bonds dropped as traders priced in the possibility of fewer interest rate cuts this year from the Federal Reserve following better than expected manufacturing data. So that's what gave us a kick in the pants yesterday, was the better than expected manufacturing data. And that's why you saw yesterday that we were right here as we got to about 10 a.m. It really tanked and we saw it worsen on the day before improving through the afternoon and ending the day a little bit better and off of those lows, right? But not anywhere near what we were looking for. The 10-year Treasury yield treasuries hit the highest since November. I've already told you that. Traders now reckon the Fed can deliver fewer than 3 rate cuts this year. Take a look at Fed futures and you'll see that that's actually true, right? We're seeing that here. So the idea that we'll see 3 rate cuts is right here. 4.75, that would be 3 cuts because I'm sorry, right here at 4.5, that would be 3 cuts because we're at 5.25. But the idea that we'll only see 2 cuts gaining steam. And if you do the math on this, it's only about a 54%, 55% expectation that we'll see at least 3 cuts, and 45% expectation that we'll see less than 3 cuts, which is not good. We need to see that move around. So a May cut still very much on the table. When we take a look here at Fed futures, we see that a May cut is, very much off the table. No expectation at all that we will see a cut at the May meeting, which will be in a month. It'll be May 1st. But at that June meeting, the probability of a cut, it's only about a 60%, less than 60% probability. It was up to 70% just a day or two ago. All right, ending last week. The idea that we'll see a cut in July also losing steam, only look at that, about a 75% chance expectation probability that we're going to see a cut by July. That's a big move. Remember, they were talking about seeing cuts in March. So all of this putting us in a position where I would still cautiously float anything that's closing near term and float anything that's 30 plus days out. Now, here's why. The idea of locking on this makes my stomach hurt. Certainly, last week I had told you to lock everything closing in 15 days. I didn't know what this week was going to bring. We're certainly looking for labor market data this week to help us see rates improve. However, now what we're looking for is we're looking for that labor market data to turn the sentiment around and stop the bleeding. So we've got the JOLTS data coming out in about 20 minutes. Hopefully that's, something that'll give us show some signs that the labor market is turning and that there's less job openings, less demand for workers than what was expected. But if we don't get some help from the JOLTS data, from the unemployment claims, and especially from Friday's labor market data, the unemployment numbers, we're going to be in trouble. Now, next week on the 10th, which is Wednesday, we have the CPI inflation data coming out. So we've got a lot of data. So loans that have time don't need to panic. We certainly don't like what we're seeing here with mortgage bonds. I would panic a lot more if they break below this 200-day moving average, though. You could see out here, we spent a day below it and then it bounced right back above it. This was all the way back in when was this? This was out in February, right? Where we were kind of below it and above it and below it and above it and below it and above it. And we just kind of really gravitated and just slingshot it back and forth around this 200-day moving average. We want to keep an eye on that same thing happening here. Now, if we break below the 200-day moving average, that would be something that would be a big concern. But again, what's already a concern is we have not seen this 10-year treasury break like as high. Again, it ended at 4.32, right where we would want, right? If we draw a line right here, this is what we'd want to see, but yet it's above that this morning. We want to see signs that it's starting to come back down. 4.39 is better than 4.40, but we want to see more significant drop in that 10-year treasury yield. If the JOLTS data comes in showing some labor market softening, that will help bring this down as well. We want to keep an eye on that. So Ron said next resistance is at 4.41. So yeah, Ron, that would make sense because we had seen it right around that level as well. and arguably we could be testing that resistance and then bounce back below it. But we'll see from there. And let's see what else you guys had to say. Hold on, I got to pull the chat up here. Mr. Rob Stewart, good morning. It's my barbecue loving Bracacho in Colorado. I'm assuming that would be Nathan Einkorn. Is that my man, Nathan Einkorn? That is showing up as Facebook user. Crystal, good morning. Yasmin, thank you for understanding that I'm slow to mail stuff out. Mike was just going to say, okay, there you go. Is it related to the reduction in Fed cuts news? Yeah. So, all right. And good morning, Zell Rayleigh, Dan Crowley. Great to see you, Dan. Great to have you back as a member again. And the mortgage industry, even when it's tough, gets in your blood. Good morning, Jason or Lisa. Great to see you here as well. So, all right. Well, I guess that's it, my friends. Unfortunately, again, we're going to be in a position where we're going to want to ride this thing out. Definitely be ready for things to get worse. Lee Witt in beautiful Siesta Key working. Yeah, dude, you got to be in Siesta Key and not working. That's the key. That is the key to the siesta. It's not a siesta if you're working. But again, reprice today is moderate. I didn't think we'd see much of a concern yesterday, and yet we did see some reprices. We're going to be watching this. Again, 20 minutes from now, that JOLTS data is either going to help us or hurt us. We're going to see some moves right as lenders are coming out with pricing. So good morning, Aldrana. Great to have you here as well. So we will see how this goes. Unfortunately, not how we wanted to start April, though, not how we wanted to start this week with these big drops. But again, nothing to panic over yet. We've seen this before. We improved, then things dropped, rates went up, we improved, they dropped. Looking at rates, we saw that same behavior. Let's go ahead and pull up mortgage rates. There we go. And then pop this back to that size. Okay. So, I mean, we saw that happen before too, where they went up into the 7s and then dropped back down 6.9s and then even lower and then back up in the 7s and then dropping back down. We've seen this show before. It's a rerun. However, the question is that, would we see rates move higher longer term? No, we're not. It's just not likely yet. Again, hopefully next week's inflation data shows more signs of inflation, that core inflation improving. That would really help as well. So we've got a lot to go on. We've got the labor market data at the end of the week. We've got the CPI inflation data next week. Of course, the producer price index data also coming, not nearly as much of an effect on rates, but it's coming next week as well. All of that putting us in a position, for loans that are closing, we got to ride this out at this point. The idea was to lock in last week at the best levels, which is what I had been kind of saying last week when I said lock, lock, lock. And we saw mortgage rates that were at 6.91, 6.91, 6.91. And I was telling you to lock on these. Today, we're significantly higher, and I wouldn't lock in these rates. I'm not yet panicking that we're not going to see a bounce. Again, I'm concerned about this 10-year Treasury yield. This is a indicator on which direction things are going, and I don't like this, but overall I'm not yet panicking about it. So hopefully the JOLTS data this morning gives us some help. If you are not yet signed up for our text alerts, that's when you would see what would be on there, and that was at www.ratetextalerts.com. You can sign up for those, and when we send out that morning text alert, it will talk about the JOLTS data and where we're at and where things are at. So if you're not there, then sign up for those. So all right, my friends, y'all have a fantastic day. We'll see what that data brings, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Make it a great one. Bye-bye.